What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with our very first season of the Haunted video. And so in this one we're going to talk about some of the new rewards and updates as a first look for the season. So initially we'll touch on some new exotic gear which we can see in a bit more depth. Plus there are some interesting quests and items coming up this season. Then additionally we'll touch on other new rewards and weapons, as well as pickups worth mentioning at this early stage. So if you guys dig the content, be sure to get subscribed for more Destiny, and without further delay, let's jump into it. Starting out today, we have got some new exotic armor for the season, and we weren't sure if we were actually going to get exotic armor pieces based on the reveal, but this follows the typical trend, and of course, new exotic armor pieces will be earnable inside of Legend and Master Lost sectors. And so new earnable exotics this season include the Second Chance exotic gauntlets for Titans. And I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly, but the exotic bonus here is called Myrmidon's Reach, and you gain a second charge of your shield throw melee, which becomes shield piercing and stuns barrier champions. So that's an interesting one, especially given that it interacts with champions. Could definitely be a decent option for Void Titans running bubbles. And then Hunters also get some new exotic gauntlets, and these are the Caliban's Hand. A pretty cool looking exotic right there, with some throwing knives equipped, and the exotic bonus is Roast 'em. Your proximity knife scorches targets that it damages with explosions, or ignites targets on a direct hit. And after throwing a proximity knife, you gain increased melee regeneration until the knife explodes. So of course this is interacting with some of the Solar 3.0 bonuses. Also on these armor pieces, we can see the way that Bungie have adjusted the stat breakdown. Definitely a bit of a better visual there. And finally, Warlocks are getting some new exotic boots called Rain of Fire, and these come with Soaring Fusilier. Air dodge reloads all of your weapons and improves the airborne effectiveness of fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles, and final blows with these weapons will make you radiant. So again, interacting with Solar 3.0, but also the new airborne effectiveness stat gets a direct mention on this exotic, which is pretty cool. And so give us your thoughts on the new exotic armor pieces down below. And then for exotic weapons right here, we do have a brand new exotic sword, which looks pretty awesome. And based on the collections in game, this one will actually be the exotic reward for the new dungeon. And so it's the Heart Shadow Sword, a very unique looking exotic sword there, pretty cool visually. And the intrinsic trait is called Exhumation. Heavy attacks made with full sword energy turn you invisible and fire exploding void projectiles. That sounds pretty neat. It also comes with Jagged Edge, as well as Burst Guard, and then the trait bonus is Shot in the Dark, and remaining invisible grants this weapon increased damage for a brief duration, and hitting a target with the weapon's projectiles while Shot in the Dark is active will weaken them. And so it certainly seems to be a pretty cool exotic sword there. Again, it's going to be earnable via the dungeon, potentially as a random drop or a quest. And it also has an exotic catalyst, which according to Bungie will be earnable via the dungeon as well. In the database, the objective lists defeating 400 targets. But for the perk, the catalyst grants Wraith Walk, and you get faster movement while invisible. And so potentially pretty cool combination right there. Then we have Trespasser, of course from the Season Pass, and it has Unrepentant. Reloading after defeating a target causes the next burst to be a longer and more powerful super burst. It has Full Bore, as well as ricochet rounds, and the trait is Be the Danger, and final blows with Unrepentant super bursts automatically reload the weapon and provide an Unrepentant super burst. So it basically grants the bonus back. And then it has Smooth Grip as well. And for the catalyst, it will grant the perk Tunnel Vision, and reloading after defeating a target greatly increases target acquisition and aim downside speed for a short duration. And if you want to grab the catalyst for Trespasser, the quest should become available via Banshee in the tower. And first we have No Trespassing, adjust Trespasser's retrofitted catalyst by defeating Fallen, and defeating targets with arc damage and targets with precision blows. And it should be 50 of each. Step 2 requires us to complete activities in Vanguard, Gambit, and Crucible playlists, and defeat targets while using Trespasser, and higher tier Nightfall completions, Gambit, or Crucible wins, and defeating Guardians will provide additional progress. And we need 450 points for targets defeated, and 200 points of calibration data. But once that's done, we can return to Banshee, and he'll grant the catalyst for the weapon. Next thing worth mentioning though, is that at the Relic in the Enclave, we can see new craftable weapons for the season. So it includes weapons that are going to come from the new seasonal activities, and that includes the main loot pool of weapons for the season, but also some of the reprised weapons like Ostringer, Drang, and the Callus Mini Tool. Pretty much all of the main weapons for the season, outside of dungeon weapons, are currently listed in there, so that's definitely pretty exciting. Spoiler alert here is necessary for dungeon weapons. For a quick preview, visible in the in-game collections once again, we have the new Purpose Pulse Rifle, It's a high-impact frame stasis pulse rifle, and here it lists an origin trait, Bitter Spite, and while the weapon is equipped, taking damage accelerates its next reload, and taking more damage increases the effect. So obviously this will be present on all of the dungeon weapons. There's also the Lingering Dread, a lightweight frame stasis grenade launcher, and the Storm Chaser linear fusion rifle in an aggressive frame right there, and that has that new well-rounded bonus on it too. Plus the Unforgiven submachine gun, an aggressive frame SMG with void damage, and it comes with Repulsor Brace, where defeating a void debuff target grants an overshield. So plenty of exciting stuff to look at in the game right there, guys, and let us know any rewards you'll be excited to hunt down. Up next though, Bungie did post a developer insight video about Solar 3.0. And it gives us a very good preview of some of the ability changes and how they're going to evolve combat starting this season. So if you missed that and you want to check it out before diving in game, it does make for a pretty good heads up about some of the adjustments. So here it is in full.
We had this North Star when we were building Solar that it was like getting a new console for Christmas. Oh my God, it's Solar 3.0. You want to open it up and you want to hook it up and you're really excited and you want it to blow you away. Ideally, it melts your face off. The fact that your core powers have been stagnant for 3 years now doesn't mesh with an evolving world, a living world. So we really wanted to make sure that as we build towards this moment, your Guardian is also meaningfully changing too.
Solar All Up allows you to make some really powerful combinations and to kill monsters in ways that you had not previously imagined you could.
We wanted to make sure we delivered on the Fire God fantasy. We have both the extremely lovely warmth of the sun and the extremely deadly scorching heat of the sun, and we wanted to marry those two in a complete package.
For the Titan, they are burn the world, basically. Like, they are the best at big damage. So for the Gunslinger, like, they're the best at weapon damage, so they are the people that make their team radiant. And then for the Warlock, we wanted to lean into this combo of Archangel and Pyromancer, where they're very good at burning things, but also, like, they're the best healers out of the classes.
The priority is always deliver on fantasy, deliver on fun. It has to be balanced totally, but that balance can never come at the expense of fun. There needs to be cackles and giggles in the playtest. Oh, in the head! Oh, that's a twofer! Mike actually dubbed it Operation Caliente, but we came up with a series of changes that were going to make Solar more spicy, but within reason. Yeah! Oh, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening.
We just started throwing out random ideas.
Consecration came out of this idea that we wanted to give Titans an ability that was just like, one thing needs to die.
You had pitched slide melee uppercut, and it was like, oh, well, if you're in the air with two hammers, there's no way you're not slamming them.
Very different from anything we've ever built before. So we weren't actually sure if we could do it. But then, 4 hours later or so, I posted a video of a prototype, and they're like, oh yeah, we should do this.
You just go in and you just unleash, and then it's funny too, because you do this and it feels complete almost, like just, it's an uppercut. But then if you're up there and then you can just bring them down, that combo, that's where it's at.
So new for Hunter, we have Gunpowder Gamble. I call it like a super trip mine, effectively. It's like a bundle of 3 trip mine grenades that you like duct tape together or like wrapped up with a belt. It can stick to walls and it can stick to enemies. But the cool part of it is we made it really easy for you to shoot it out of the air. So you can really live your gunslinger trick shot fantasies of like throwing a stick of dynamite and then whipping out your hand cannon, blasting it out of the air to like blow people up behind cover or behind a corner or stuff like that.
Incinerator Snap. Incinerator Snap is really cool in that it provides a role where there's a large crowd control, right? There's a large amount of targets in front of me. I want to blanket the area on fire. The Warlock very flashily will snap their fingers. A wave of fire will come out, scorch a bunch of dudes. If you concentrate that on a target, they'll actually chain detonate. We're really excited about not just the cool new abilities we build and not just the cool new rules, but the ripple effects of those changes throughout the entire build crafting and sandbox game.
Seeing all the pieces come together, any one piece, you can't see what it is until you see a team playing together with it. And then when you see a team playing together with it, it's like transformative.
Guys, as always, stay tuned on the channel and I'll keep you posted with more Destiny 2 Season 17 content. As always, if you guys enjoy the content, then be sure to get subscribed and let us know what you're enjoying the look of in Season 17 so far. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in and I hope you guys have an awesome day.